Oh! Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Austin Neelo here, episode 1 of Neelo's podcast. What's going on? I know it might be ironic because what the hell's going on? He's filming out of his phone. He's filming himself driving. What's going on? What kind of quality is this? Well, shit. I'm tired of waiting around for the equipment. I'm tired of waiting around for the right people. And you know what? Episode 1 is going on right now. So let's get into it, man. No questions asked. Anyways, I want to give a brief background of who I am, what I am currently doing, and where I look to go in the future. After that, I want to get into exercise and notify everybody out there, if you're not getting after it, if you're not living up to your word or your dream, you want to get shredded, but you're not doing it, well, let's get after it. You don't have to be a muscle buff right to start. You don't have to be Wonder Woman right to start, but you got to take one step every day and you got to get better. So let's go. Background of myself. I grew up in Ventura, California. I played sports my entire life. I still participate in sports. I grew up playing football. I ran track and field as a sprinter and a long jumper. And after high school graduation, I went to Ventura College and received my associate's degree in environmental sciences. I am a big fan of nature. I love putting my soul out there, walking on hikes, donating as much as I can every month to different organizations that are here to conserve the environment, protect the environment, and introduce new laws that will serve us for many years to come, hopefully. In between going to school at Ventura College, I took time to travel. I got really into travel. I got that travel bug. I started off going to Australia. I just said, you know what? I was working at the hospital St. John's as a central supply technician, distributing goods, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take off for a little bit, man. I'm going to just take a shot. So what? I'm not making any income. I'll make it happen when I get back or whatever. And luckily, and I recommend this to everybody, you got to have solid knowledge and patience and walk the walk when it comes to saving your cash early. You know, it's easy to splurge on drinks, it's easy to splurge on drugs and all that, but it's not what we're all here for, and you can't be out of whack with that stuff. You got to be balanced, otherwise it takes you apart, and it's a game of catch-up, so don't do it. So I decided while I was working, I said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to go to Australia. Like I said, I was really into nature, and I still really am. And I was a part of a group called GVI, Global Vision International, out of Cairns, which is in northeast Australia, doing conservation work. I was there for 6 weeks, and the projects entailed things like invasive species removal, trash pickup. There were studies done on certain animals while we were there, mainly the cassowary. And I don't remember the other one, to be honest. A lot of time was also spent on the weekends just having fun and exploring Australia. It was really cool to see a different culture, but a fun culture to say the least. The Australians know how to get down, they know how to have fun, and they're really good people. A lot of souls I met out there were super friendly and helpful in everything that I went through out there and encountered. I also traveled to Europe. I went to 5 different countries. I started out in Portugal, worked my way to Spain. From Spain, I went to Switzerland. Switzerland, I went to Belgium, and from Belgium, I went to the Netherlands. No, switch that around. I went to Netherlands first, and then Belgium. Anyways, you get the gist. I like to travel. After that, after I had received my environmental sciences degree, I traveled to Vietnam with my pops. I decided, you know what, I gotta get my parents out and travel with them, make it happen while we're all still here, still healthy and still grooving. So my pops and I went to Vietnam for 3 weeks, from the south in Ho Chi Minh, worked our way into the middle, Nha Trang, and then up to a few other cities and places around Vietnam. We flew from there to Thailand, to a place called Phuket. Tropical paradise, party town. ride motorbikes around the island. It's not even an island, it's actually attached to the mainland, but it sure feels like island and island lifestyle. No time, no clocks there, man. Everyone's on a different pace. It's cool, very friendly, just like Australia, man. I mean, people in this world, for the most part, the majority of them, really good-hearted. It's good to know that. Oh, at least the countries I've been to. I know there's a lot out there that might have different standards and principles, but I think for the most part, our world is set for the peaceful. I know that there's definitely movements and scary things that happen out there, but I don't think it'll ever overpower the love that we have for this place that we live, for our family members, for our friends, and for the nature that we get to explore. I really do think that even if it's a slight balance, 51% of the movement is based in goodness, and then 49% based in that other ugly stuff. But I don't know, I'm just throwing out suggestions. So many different ways to live life. And then, so I took a trip with my mom after getting back to the States for a little bit and finding some things. I'll talk about that in a little bit. I went with my mom to Ireland recently, actually, about 4 months ago. Today is April 2019, and it was actually last October. So 2018 in October, and we stayed for, how long did we stay for? We stayed for 10 days, and we explored the southern and western parts of Ireland, and we took a tour, the Irish Wolfhound Adventures Tour, with an amazing gentleman who just holds it down in Ireland, has an amazing plethora of information and history to provide you on his tours. I mean, I don't even know where to start. The guy's an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to Irish history, Irish culture, and it was so much fun. I totally recommend that. If nothing else, just getting out to Ireland and seeing how green it is and why they call it the Emerald Island. So what I wanted to talk about in between was when I got back from traveling with my dad. I was still living at my parents' house in Ventura, California. And I decided that it was time for me to get on my own. So I traveled just slightly up north to a place called, oh my gosh, this hit me mid-sentence. I was just thinking about the conservation work, and I totally skipped out. So after I had gotten my associate's degree, I was contemplating whether or not I was meant for the university lifestyle. And it came down to 2 days before, my final yes or no offer to the University of Santa Cruz for a philosophy degree, and I said no, and I actually ended up joining an organization based in Santa Cruz called ACE, American Conservation Experience, and I spent 6 months in the northernmost part of Big Sur State Park, a place called Garrapatta State Park, doing a lot of dry stone masonry, building overlooks, and a lot of trail maintenance, and a lot of other miscellaneous conservation-like experiences. But an awesome gig. I ended up extending my term another 3. Actually, I did a 3-month instead of a 6 full term. But I ended up working in the mountains of Mammoth, California, and the surrounding regions, doing a lot of cross-cut, a lot of trails that would fall over on the trails, a lot of trails that would fall over on the trails, a lot of trees that would fall over on the trails. We would cut down, hack away, and clear for people and for livestock to get through. But an amazing experience that I really can't put words to. It was transforming to be out in nature that often and in a tent majority of the year. But anyways, I wanted to just throw that in there real quick. Jesus Christ, I should write an autobiography. I just love myself so much. I do though. But anyways, back to it. So when I got home from Vietnam, I decided, like I was saying, that I need to get out of my parents' place. I need to be my own man. So I went a bit further north to Santa Barbara, California, and I got a full-time job at Cottage Hospital doing similar work to what I was doing at St. John's in Oxnard. Essentially, central supply and the distribution of goods, not only through the hospital, but through different laboratories and clinics in the Santa Barbara region, and also down south towards Ventura, Thousand Oaks, etc. I still work there, but I only work there part-time because on my road and my path to getting my own place in Montecito with one other roommate who's hardly a roommate because he's only there part-time, but a great guy, David. Shout out to David. Just got lucky, man. Found a Craigslist ad on, different house offerings out there, and I saw the Montecito one pop up in like 20 minutes when it was just posted. I said, bada bing, I gotta check this out. Checked it out, and just knew, that was the gem. So I had lived there for a year. Got a full-time job at Cottage doing the Central Supply job, and in the midst of all of that too, I ended up going for my personal training certification through a company called ACE, ironically, like the conservation company I was talking about, but this one is the American Council on Exercise. I spent about 4 or 5 months self-study online and books that they had sent through the mail, beginning to get the bug for teaching people how to exercise, because I have done exercise my whole life. I have followed my dad in suit and my mom in suit, who were always watching videos of different exercises, weightlifting, running, playing football, all that good stuff. It was always around me, and it was always transforming my life. And anytime that I needed an outlet, to deal with any type of stressful situations, or just growing up, adolescence, all that good stuff, exercise was the thing to go to for me. And there were so many different outlets that I saw out there that were not beneficial to people either dabbling in drugs or spending too much time with another, their soulmate, and falling in love a little bit too quickly, moving a little bit too quickly for their own good, and ending up in situations that were not ideal for them, divorce, and if not married, separation, if separated sometimes, with children even. And it is what it is, life goes on. But I saw all these different outlets out there, and I just knew that exercise was something so healthy and so beneficial for so many different aspects. A lot of things I didn't even know. And since I've been on this journey, I've acquired a lot of information from others, that encompasses things like the diet, things like the mind, and a sound mind, one that you can trust, one that you can calculate anything that you would desire and make it possible, make it real, to manifest that. So all these different ingredients that go along with your health started to appear, and I said, I want to do my best and apply my best efforts to get that personal training certification and start to teach people how to exercise properly, how to weightlift properly, how to run properly, how to breathe properly. And so far it's been an astounding journey. I now have 5 clients. I have a potential 3 more coming, and I created a website around this called souljastrong.com. If you are interested, I will spell that out real quick. It's SOULJAHSTRONG.com. On there you can see different program types. I have blog posts, information on free exercise, demonstration videos, to name a few. But like I said, I started creating something to mold our society and to get more people on board, because there can never be too many healthy people. I think healthy people make wise choices. Not saying that unhealthy people don't, but how long is it sustained for? What if you are a brilliant individual? You are let's say you are a female scholar that has an abundance of knowledge, but you're not taking care of yourself, and you end up getting sick, and you cannot put your focus into your work. Therefore, your work cannot be distributed throughout the entire community that you live in. It cannot be distributed throughout the world. And everyone takes a shot. We all matter to each other. Everyone is so important. I have another example. Let's say that you know that you are killing yourself, drinking, doing drugs that you should not, yet you think that you're okay masking feelings that you don't want to feel. You know what? To be honest, everyone's got to feel something, man. Sometimes we are sad. Sometimes we are happy. Sometimes we are motivated. Sometimes we are just destroyed. It doesn't matter. But you know what? We all feel it. These things are meant to be felt. Do not hide these things. Do not mask these things. The healthier you are, I believe, the more that you will open up. That's the definition of being open-minded. You feel these things and you let them go, just like you had never even came across them. I mean, let's look back on our own lives right now. I want you to do a little exercise for me. Look back on your own life, maybe 5 years ago. Pick an event that you don't even recall, and you go, oh my gosh, in the midst of it, it seemed like it was such a burden. It was so mind captivating. You lost all focus elsewhere because it was just sucking you in. But now you look at your life and you go, oh my gosh, it was like that never even happened to me, because you don't look in the rear view. You don't even see it anymore. Life passes like that. That's what I was getting at. Motivational Mike. I'm in the zone right now. I'm on fire. Anyways, back to the background and the come up. But right now I'm currently living out of my truck, out of this studio that I'm doing the podcast in currently. I decided for the last year or so, Jesus Christ, it's hard to talk on your own solo. I'm bouncing off the walls here, man. I had a cup of coffee earlier, but I don't think it's the caffeine. I think it's energy, man. Anyways, fuck was I? So, I lived in Montecito for a year, and my roommate offered one of his friends his room to rent out for a few months, and I decided in these few months' times to, try something out that I had been curious to try for a long time, and that was living out of a vehicle, having a mobile home. What drew me to this lifestyle was the simplicity involved, so I thought, until I actually tried it. I'll tell you a little bit more about that, but the simplicity involved, and the fact that you can go everywhere, you have your storage with you, you have your goods with you, and you have all the essentials. You can't overpack. If you hoard in a truck or a car, it's foolish, because you can't get anything. One, you always have to dig out stuff, but you can only really have the essentials, which I love. It filters out all the BS. You ever have stuff that's packed up in your closet or your room and you realize, why am I holding on to this? Exactly. Give it up. But getting back to the simplicity involved, living out of the truck, especially my truck, a Frontier 2005 with a small cab. I think it's like a 5'8" bed. I am 5'7" and a half. I hardly fit. I have to sleep diagonally. But it's not as simple as you think, because you have to get everything dialed in, because you have to be so organized. You always have to stay on top of it. And because you always have to stay on top of it and put in work and effort into keeping organized, your focus remains in that for at least a temporary amount of time. And, obviously we get better and better as we get into it. We understand what we can eliminate, what we can cultivate, and what what's working, what's not, essentially. But you know what? It's been a tremendous experience thus far, and I absolutely love it. But the update to this day right now is I'm going to get back into the Montecito pad, because David, the gentleman he was renting the room out to, is going down to LA to, he already started opening up his own art studio, and I believe that he will possibly move out there. I don't know what his situation is, but the room is back and up for grabs. It's only me and David now, and it is the oasis. Whew. Anyways, that's the current update on my life right now, and I just wanted to break down what I was discussing earlier at the very introduction of this podcast, number 1, baby, Neelo's podcast. Damn, man, finally getting started. I'm excited about that. Was exercise, and for anybody listening to this, whether you're an elitist or whether you are a beginner, we know nothing. We have only trialed, we have only gone through limited amounts of processes. We have not tried every aspect of exercise. You cannot tell me that if you are a weightlifter, that you have not experienced the musculature necessary for ballerina work. You cannot tell me if you are a ballerina that you know what it is like to have resistance exercise in your life. There are so many different ways to become healthy and so many different ways to produce muscle, to slim down, to get lean, to get bulky, to get big. Whatever your desires are, we don't know it all. We only know certain aspects in this life, and that's why I think it's essential that you embark as early as possible on finding your own rhythm, getting geared in, trying new things, cross-training, getting better, understanding what it is. What is health? What are you aiming for? Are you just trying to get big and you're not really worrying about your health? That's a big mistake. You're not going to be around for that long if you do that. You're gonna overwork yourself. Kill yourself. There's such thing as overworking yourself. I'm not talking about not hustling. If you need to hustle, you gotta hustle. Every one of us needs to hustle. We hustle all the time. But overworking is bad management. And matter of fact, it takes away from your hustle. You gotta understand how to balance, how to shape your life. And it's not easy. I'm not saying I have it all down. I mean, come on, baby. But I'm working for it. And I'm working for a lot of different things. And I know everyone else out there is working for a lot of different things. I'm sure that we all want more money. It's competition, though. It doesn't come to everybody. That's why we gotta hustle. And with multiple income streams, which I will have very soon here, one day, is to put that right back in to the environment, right back into our economy, to fuel successful businesses that are centered around health, that are centered around beneficial activities for mankind. And you know what? We're all here together. So anytime that someone feels they can, use some advice, feel free to contact me. I don't care who you are. You could be an 80-year-old grandma curious about cross stitch. I don't know much about cross stitch, but I know my mom does, and I'll ask my mom and I'll relay info. There's always a way to find answers, and there's always ways to make efforts that will impact not just yourself but other people, hopefully in positive ways. So back to exercise. Get after it. Make sure that you're at least walking every day, getting outdoors. Just take one step. If you've been on the couch for years, you're overweight and you have no hope, well, the hope just started right now. Yep, that's right. The seed's been planted. Get off your ass and just take one step. You don't have to be muscle mania to begin. You just have to start somewhere and every day expand from there. Just take it step by step. Don't think about so far into the future. Think about your goals, yes. But in order to get to the future, you got to be here right now. It's a beautiful thing. It keeps you humble. It eliminates anxiety. It eliminates unnecessary grief. Going back into the past, sure. We recall and we appreciate certain experiences. We mourn and we resist certain things that happen to us. But the past is the past. It really no longer matters. Yes, it has shaped you to who the person you are right now. But instead of looking back into the past, at least give your future self a chance to be successful by implementing practices and techniques to implement into your life to make it a good life. A good life, motherfuckers! Damn, that's right. It's fun, man. You know what? This life is fun. If you're not having fun right now, question what you're doing and why you're even doing it. So get right back on the tracks, baby. Like I said, we all experience different emotions, but we understand now that if you can feel these things out and you don't resist these things, you hardly even stay there. You hardly stay sad. You hardly stay mad. You hardly stay jealous. And the things that really start to take over is you're happy, you're having fun, you're caring, you're kind, courteous, you share, you want to help. And it's things like this. As long as we can stay conscious and aware and in line with these principles, even if we slip off for a little bit, we will always bring the track right back in line. Thank you. I just switched my voice to get a little bit more sentimental because it hits a different wavelength for all of us to acquire this impulse coming. If you're curious, it's homegrown bud that I'm smoking on. It's called Chocolate. No, I'm not a big weed head. I take one hit and I get this high, so fuck off if you thought I was an addict. Okay? Damn it. From here on out, though, I would love to have guests on this podcast. I do have the equipment necessary to fuel more podcasts. I do have a place beginning in May back in Montecito to do podcasts. What I do not have is the team that I used to have. The homies holding it down for me for the Two Trees podcast with Jimmy Miller in Ventura, California, Andrew Valdivia, Anthony Valdivia, and everyone else associated that was helping out. Branson Lee, Beyond Decent, Jordonias, cameraman, man, just a good guy. All you guys are the homies, and we're helping out big time. But you know what? I no longer have that team close to me up in Montecito, and everyone's on their own path, doing their own thing, their own focus. So I need a new team. I need a new movement. Maybe it's only one person. Maybe it's a whole squad. Either way, I wanted to put something out, and to let everybody know that, hey, if you want to get involved, hit me up. You got no questions asked. I'm not saying I'm going to say yeah. It's going to depend on a few factors. But you can at least give it a shot, okay? Okay? What else? So going from here, hopefully get a team going and actually get legitimate footage. Film, the microphones, the background, the green screen, the views, the quality enhanced, upgraded, increased, ba-bam, ba-boom. Neelo's podcast is underway, but guess what, man? We're doing it on a fucking phone right now, and it's still gonna take off. Like they say, you gotta start somewhere. And guess what? It started. I love everybody tuning in. I love everybody who's not tuning in. Get those people on board, and let's have some more fun. Episode 2 will be released soon. It might be on this phone, or it might be with the team. Who knows? Things happen quickly, my friends. Love y'all. Peace out.